Unser Kernservice mit Notus ist, dass wir vor allem im B2B-Bereich, aber am Schluss ist es auch industrieagnostisch, weil unser Prozess darauf basiert, dass wir die Expertinnen interviewen und dann das Wissen einfach in gute Inhalte verpacken.
Sie ist eine 10, so wie Silvi Mais. Mit 16 auf Stage hab ich eingeschaltet.
Hello my friends, happy Monday and welcome to another week in my life of running a 7-figure personal branding agency. I will document the entire week here in Berlin before I go to Barcelona on Friday. I'm here visiting my sister for a couple of days and I will meet a couple of cool people here in Berlin from which you'll get to learn a ton from, hopefully, as well as just share a couple of insights about what's been going on recently and the things that I'm spending time on this week, especially after getting back from my vacation in Norway last week. So today, classic Monday, was all about internal catch-ups, talking to my COO Luca, talking to the head of sales Selim, doing async check-ins and also following up with people, and all of that while also just doing my weekly planning rhythm that I already kind of did yesterday, but then checked in on today as well. If you want the template, you can get it in the bio. So got a lot of clarity in terms of what's happening this week. Got my inbox to 0 yesterday already, and really just now grinding away with all the small things piling up, managing the team, and also making sure I have time for deep work to just move the needle on the most important topics this week. The most important topics this week include finalizing the onboarding for our sales coaching, the second phase of our sales coaching with Predict, which we kicked off today. And so we're really just leveling up our sales process, and we work with them to just update our infrastructure by simply even just like updating our close CRM and having proper pipeline management and hygiene standards there, to improving our sales script and our pitch. And now we will continue refining that, but we're also going to introduce our first outbound motion, which is going to be a signal-based outreach process. I will share more about the learnings, the things we do there over time. But for now, just wanted to fill you in on the fact that I'm doing their onboarding, which includes target market analysis. So which target markets are we going after? Brainstorming the niche that we want to carve out based on just our favorite clients, our dream clients that we identified, and also reflecting on if we had to start from zero, who would we want to work with? Who would be most likely to buy our services? And then to really map out that ICP. So this is what I'm doing this week. For context also on the business side of things, we're currently sitting at right about 95K MRR because during my off week last week, Selim managed to close 3 new deals, which is awesome. And so we're making good progress there. And yeah, aside from that, while I'm in Berlin, I'm going to try to meet a couple of cool people. And also, one of the themes I just mentioned, the sales coaching, one of the themes right now, it's mid-February 2025, is that we're investing a lot into coaching. So today I also kicked off agency coaching with Alexander Heeg, a good friend of mine who sells agency coachings and like training products. And he always helped me for free in the past, and we always caught up and supported each other. But I was like, yo, bro, you always give me such good input. I want to pay you and get the proper treatment. And I don't want no like special discounts. Just let me know what you need and let's make something happen. And so I hired Alex Hick to coach us over the next 5 months and to help me become a better manager, to really focus on acquisition through marketing, like our funnel and key activities, and mostly also for me to improve my productivity and my focus. And then also to help me better manage some of my team members.
Ja, ich nenne es Yin und Yang. Kaufe Weißes mit dem Schwarzgeld. Ich nenne es Yin und Yang. Ich seh wieder einen Bay. Ja, ich nehme ihn mit und dann geht die Sonne wieder auf. Und es fängt von vorne an. Wow, Range ist schwarz und weiß. Ja, ich nenne es Yin und Yang.
Oh, my hands are full. Alright, it's Tuesday morning and you know what that means. Let's go, Team Stronger. Boo, 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 yeah. Got some electrolytes for once too.
Trucks laced up, Tank Top, schwarz, keine Chain, Jeans, no face, shout out, LGBTQ, ich mag mein Money Gate, mein Herz rap, mein Shirt.
Welcome back.
Sie ist eine 10, so wie Silvi Mais. Mit 16 auf Stage hab ich eingeschaltet. Meine Bitch kommt.
Yes, my dear.
Look at this. Workout check.
Check.
When in Berlin, we go stronger.
Always.
Look at this weather.
Marvin has gotten. He added a few kilograms of muscle. That's for sure. He's been working in Barcelona, not just eating tapas. That shirt was fitting tight today.
My God, hey, make me blush. Yeah, I told Kavian it's my gym arc at the moment. 4 times per week, getting that 5 grams of creatine, a lot of protein. Doing 4 times, but maybe you have some advice. Right now I'm using My Fit Coach, the app.
Yeah.
Like it gamifies the experience a little bit, which I enjoy. And I have a lot of fun going to the gym.
And that's the most important thing, bro.
Yeah.
Consistency. What's the goal right now?
100 kilo bench press, 5 times 5.
Okay.
And then cut down and get back to hybrid athlete.
Okay. 100 kilograms. And where are you right now?
I think at around, 87. 87 with like 6 reps.
6 reps.
Doesn't even have to be 5 times 5. Maybe you tell me what a good goal could be. I don't know, I just want to put on a little more muscle.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna shred.
Yeah. I think it's cool to have this performance-based goal, like bench press, but maybe you can choose a few exercises, like deadlift, pull-ups, and do a status on where you are today. I mean, you know where your bench press is.
Yeah.
And then we check again in April. When you come back, we do the test here.
Let's go. Yeah. And then I'll cut.
And then after that, it's springtime, and it'll be perfect time to cut. But why sacrifice? You can be cut and strong.
Yeah. Do you have some piece of advice or like a minimum viable workout rhythm, health rhythm you'd recommend to entrepreneurs who are trying to like build a business but also be strong and fit?
Yeah. So if you only have the opportunity to train once a week, for example, or twice a week, then I would go for full body training every single time. And it can also be 30 minutes or 45 minutes working on compound movements. If you don't know what a compound movement is, then Timmy's gonna put it into the description here.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. And yeah, I think you can do a lot with very little, as long as you try to do it every single week. Just like building your business, you have to be consistent with this thing. And then getting your daily movement in, whether that's walking your steps, riding your bike to work, going for a run or something like that. And that's already like minimum. Everyone can walk 7,000 steps a day. I don't care how busy you are. Yeah, start small, build from there.
That's what we do.
Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Yeah. You know what you can do though for your routine, because you like running, don't you?
Yeah.
So you can focus on your big lifts. Like let's say your focus lift of the day is the bench press, right?
Yeah.
And then you might do 2 chest exercises. Are you doing like chest day, leg day, or
Push pull.
Push pull? Okay.
I'm skipping leg day.
Are you doing push pull 4 times a week, just upper body?
Yeah. And then I sometimes I do some squats in between. I do deadlifts.
Okay. Don't neglect your legs, please, because they also like
But have you
training
seen
your
my
leg
legs?
muscles. Training your leg muscles, your body exerts testosterone, which is
Yeah.
a very big muscle group, and growth hormone, which helps the other muscle groups grow as well. But what you can do is you can do a little pump station, and then you go and run like an 800 on the treadmill, or do like, I don't know, 3 times 400 with a little break in between. Get the heart rate up, get some running in there,
Yeah.
and then you go back and pump a little bit,
Yeah.
and take these little go on the treadmill breaks.
Yeah.
That's going to shred you down and
Fuck
make
yes.
you strong at the same time.
Fuck yes.
One of my favorite types of training. Do like 5x5 heavy squat, and then go run some intervals. Wouldn't neglect them though.
Yeah.
They have to carry you around the rest of your life. Your upper body doesn't have to carry you.
Fair enough.
Plus, when your upper body gets more heavy, your legs have to be stronger.
That is true. Fuck. Okay.
Train legs.
Train legs, guys. Let's go. But we decided to catch up over some proper coffee. So going to one of my favorite spots. I think one of your favorite spots too, right?
Sure, yeah.
I used to be OG 19 grams visitor, not here in Kreuzberg, but rather in Mitte. But Hey, look at this. Almost tempting to sit outside despite the cold just because the sun is out.
Chase checks, little homie, cause the money bring the power and respect, little homie. Get some dollars to your mama and invest, little homie. Do you, don't worry about the rest, little homie.
Okay, my friends, just wrapped up here at 19 grams in Kreuzberg. Had a very nice session with Simon, just catching up on how things are going and sharing my POV and 2 cents on his business journey and brainstorming content ideas, but also talking about the importance of focus and, you know, figuring out where there's the most amount of momentum and what to double down on, perhaps also things to cut to create more space for growth. And then got into work, cleaned up the sales CRM, did some community management on LinkedIn, and then reviewed the preparation for this afternoon's meeting with Agne and Max surrounding our personal brand bundle / Content Strategist Academy launch. Because we decided not to launch a proper coaching program for other freelancers and agencies, at least for now, to not distract ourselves from just offering the best service to our done-for-you clients. However, we do have these invaluable assets that we are using to fulfill our client projects and to train our team members. And so we decided to instead turn it into a digital product that people can do themselves. So not done with you coaching, but rather do it yourself. Digital product plus training. And now I'm headed to my favorite barber when in Berlin, Co-Barbers. Because as you can see, this hair is getting out of hand. And I'm taking the opportunity to go see Kane and get a fresh cut. So let's see what he does. And until the Uber arrives, I'm gonna just take in the sun, baby. Let's keep it rolling. Yeah, I do like vlogs, YouTube vlogs.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. Yeah.
Marvin, nice to meet you.
Yeah, so send me a message on our Instagram.
We'll do it? Yeah, let's do it. I'll send you when this also gets edited.
Okay,
Cheers.
In a decade since I cried, I got no dog left in the fight. The bar don't match the bite.
And we're done. Absolute legends. You should check out Co-Barbers for sure. Just make sure that I still get spots here and don't book him out. Always good vibes. Absolute lads. I think that's what best describes Kane, Care, and the team. And now headed to Studio Natura to meet up with Daniel, get some co-working done, and take it from there. Let's go. I've been telling this guy to vlog and put stuff onto YouTube for 4 years.
Yeah, the longest time.
I always told him he would be the German David Dobrik. And now he's doing it. Was hast du gesagt? Durchbruch, Abel?
So it's literally a breakthrough. You can call it a breakthrough because it has been so long, and so for my profession, for my life, for my hobby, I travel around the world constantly, and I never like documented and put anything out besides Instagram stories. But YouTube has always been a passion of mine. Like I have this channel for 9 years now, and it's been revived after 5 years of no content, like a month ago, and I posted 10 videos already. Yeah, it's also DJI. Yeah.
Bro, DJI is just killing it.
Yeah, killing the game forever since they started with the drones.
Yeah.
No, but the biggest thing for me is the locking mechanism. So right now it's on the tripod. One click, I have it like this. I can either put it somewhere down, but I can also, like I have this with me because I'm using it right now. Snap it onto here, and I don't want to put this in, it looks silly, but it's a POV mount basically. So I have like the POV vision for if I'm in the car talking.
For our run.
Gives a nice hit for the run, man. Also in this little bag that I just showed you, it's the whole setup for the mic. And not even just the mic. This one, this little guy, I'm just finding small, nice equipment throughout the week.
Bro, you can hear his enthusiasm.
Oh my God. Look at this, who invented this? And then you have a light. Like, how nice is this? Yeah, yeah, it's a komplett Tech Talk. Ja.
Komplett YouTube Takeover. Jetzt haben wir noch Studio Natura höchst selbst am Start. Was geht?
Ja. und beautiful.
Also, what he didn't say, he's gonna give a proper intro, but he said he travels the world for a living. Because what he does is he captures drone footage from all the places around the world, and then he licenses that drone footage, sells it through different stock footage platforms.
That's me. 21 aerials.
21 aerials, baby. Puts it on YouTube and makes fucking a living off of that. And now finally also documenting the behind the scenes through what, YouTube vlogs and Instagram vlogs?
Definitely YouTube first, and then of course putting it on YouTube and shorts, reels, everything, all that goodness. Shorts been going really well. I'll show you the stats in a second.
What is your content strategy? Like what kind of videos do you put out? Why should people follow you? What's the angle? For me, it's like POV. You're building a 7-figure personal branding agency, documenting behind the scenes, tasting coffee, meeting cool people. Kind of like that agency business building public approach. What is yours?
Okay, I'm definitely refining my approach on the way. But for now, it is I travel to all these places, taking you with me first of all as a documentary. Just sit back and watch it, but then also giving value in travel hacks, sending you my Google Maps list, all that. Like I went to all these places and going to many places the second, the third time, and like these Google Maps lists have like everything in there. But obviously that's just super minor segments, so there's going to be a lot of that, but there's also going to be content here in Berlin. Like I have a bunch of people with cool professions, and I'm going to go into their jobs, pick their brain, and just gonna create content and value.
And one of the actions will be to get you to Barcelona soon, but we'll talk about that later. Okay. I'm gonna prep for a team meeting now. We're gonna plan a digital product launch, and then we're gonna get some food maybe. I'm gonna get some food at least, I'm starving.
No, the first. YouTube Mastermind.
What's good?
How are things, mate?
Good. In Berlin for a couple of days.
Love to hear it.
And then back to Barcelona on Friday.
Barcelona, mate, that's the European life. You're just everywhere, huh?
Hey, for real. I got the girlfriend in Denmark, the business and family in Switzerland, and then Q1 in Barcelona. So yeah, it's the Europe rotation. Hi, my friends. Just wrapped up a lovely lunch with Ibo. And I mean, we discussed kind of just both of our agency journeys. And the interesting thing is that we have quite different types of agencies, where I take the more, let's say, productized, lean agency with, medium-sized companies, you could say. Ibo's been doing huge projects with companies like Douglas and like Billie Eilish and what else, bro? I mean, you could flex a lot of big names, I assume. But he don't flex. And I think that's the biggest difference that I thought would be interesting to also capture here real quick before the people at Soho House throw us out for filming, is that I took the build in public approach from pretty much day zero, but you took a completely different approach, yeah? Like what's your take?
Build in silence.
I just write copies, man.
I just write copies, man.
Yeah, what do you do for a living, man?
Writing copies, man. Like usual.
Yeah, shout out Joel. In town in Berlin for a couple of days, and before I head back to Barcelona, we actually found time to catch up over coffee. You're about 2 months in Berlin right now?
Yep, 2 months.
And then back to Cologne?
Yes, sir. For the summer.
Hey, living that remote and flexible life as a content strategist.
Always here and there,
Nice. And excited for you to, at some point, maybe also share content around the topics you're passionate about besides our work, around diplomacy, politics, and all that shit.
One day.
One day. Manifesting.
Gotta get that work done.
Yeah.
And gotta continue finishing up my education. And then I'm ready to do so, yeah.
And now we're gonna walk back. You have a call with Simon from Zurich.
Yes, sir.
Client that he's managing. And I have a content call soon and gotta do some sales onboarding, so let's get back.
What's up, brother? How are you, bro? Good, bro. Freezing.
Nice, let's fucking go. Look at this beautiful backdrop. That's the thing. We both knew it's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just, you just have to get up and do it. The highlight.
Dear Lord Huberman, we're embracing the sun with you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Getting the delicious looks.
Hello vlog, just took over because Marvin went on a run with Daniel and I stayed here and kept sleeping because even though we have the same genes, one of us is active and the other one is lazy. I'll let you guess who's who. But just made myself some coffee in the AeroPress and I'm gonna review it like Marvin does. We know the rules, 1 sip. Coffee is from 5 Elephants. And I taste some guava notes, some passion fruit, hint of milk chocolate in the end. It's nice, 8.2, 5 Elephant, 8.2. But if you ever wondered, what's Marvin like? Can you see him down there? Nah, in real life, he's exactly the same as in the vlogs. Always talking about content and business, always reviewing everything he eats and drinks. So yeah, nothing special I guess, always wants more protein as well. So I'm gonna greet him when he comes back. And thank you Marvin for letting me stay in your apartment. Bye vlog, bachi bachi.
Hey! Good morning, my friends. It is Thursday and I started the day with a very cold but nice run with my friend Daniel Walther. We also got some coffee and caught up on, first off, him visiting us potentially in Barcelona, combining that with some content production and then talking about our respective YouTube journeys. So that was nice. Then I got back home and got into work, cleaned up a report for a client of ours, also checked in on another lead magnet campaign we launched on LinkedIn this morning on my profile. Pretty much we just relaunched an updated free email course that teaches people how to set up a personal brand for their B2B business that actually attracts inbound demand and helps you generate up to 20 calls per month. So that was interesting. And now I'm preparing for a sales call that I have in 30 minutes with, I don't want to reveal too much about the company, but it's a big family company, family-owned company, family business that is operating in the yacht industry, luxury yachts and all of that. And it's a very new industry for me. I don't know much about it. So I'm reading over their website, looking at some industry magazines just to get a feel for what the industry is like. And like, you know, is this more of a B2B play, B2C play? Who are people that actually buy yachts and what services do you sell to whom within that ecosystem? And in terms of the actual call, today is the first call I have with them. And I got different stakeholders from the marketing team to the CEO to the CEO of a portfolio company. So different people who are all interested in personal branding and LinkedIn, but also have some doubts perhaps on whether or not it makes sense, especially given the fact that they come from a traditional industry and like a traditional company. So the way I approach these meetings always is to really treat the discovery call like an introduction call where I want to get to know them as a person and their business. And so I usually really focus on asking a lot of questions and trying to understand whether or not the strategy that I usually propose makes sense for them. So that, you know, primarily also includes asking the question of who are you trying to reach and where do these people spend time? For example, if we're talking about, you know, launching some personal profiles on LinkedIn, then we want to know, do the people that they're trying to reach actually spend time on LinkedIn? And for that, we need to understand who those people are. And usually there's different groups of stakeholders. You know, in B2B, there's a classic buying center of the decision maker, that can be the CEO, to the actual user, that could be a, you know, a marketing manager. So there's different roles. Like can influence the buying decision. So knowing that and understanding that is important. But perhaps it's not even about sales. Perhaps it's more about attracting employees, especially in like yacht industries and like more traditional industries. Oftentimes it's about employer branding and attracting talent. So what talent are they looking for? How old are those people? Do we think they spend time on a platform like LinkedIn? And so just really understanding the business, the different verticals, different goals associated with it, but also educating them on the importance of just building brand equity for long-term leverage is kind of the approach that I take. And it's always interesting when there's multiple stakeholders. You know, we got people from marketing, we got CEOs, we got portfolio company CEOs, maybe a head of sales. And so I, in those cases, always try to include everyone in the discussion and to put myself into the shoes of the different stakeholders involved. So if I have someone from marketing in the sales call, I want to make sure that I check in on how is marketing doing, and also appreciating them and acknowledging them as equal experts. So saying, you know, I explained something about marketing, but then I refer to the marketing person and say, hey, but perhaps you also have some insights. Would love to hear how you see these things, given that you're, you know, the marketing expert here, you know, from the company. And I also want to be respectful of the fact that I'm not trying to take away the job from the marketing person by letting them outsource it to my agency. And so that's one nuance and important, you know, balance to strike. And then you have the CEO that's maybe more visionary or more rational. So you got to talk a different language with those folks and be super clear in, hey, this is the ICP. This is where they spend time. This is how we can reach them. This is the playbook. And then you got the other visionary person that just wants to be on stage. And then we can talk about the benefits of then, you know, all of a sudden you go to a networking event and people are like, yes, I know you from LinkedIn, dope stuff, la la la. So that's always interesting when there's multiple people on a call. I usually enjoy these meetings because I get to just, you know, play ping pong with different people and just, you know, navigate. And I assume since they have the whole top suite of executives on the call that it wasn't easy to find the time. So I'll probably also get into parts of our presentation and explaining what we do more than I would usually in a discovery call, just to make sure that it's not only an interview, but that I also get to share my POV, consult them and get them excited about the outlook of potentially working together, or even just understanding the potential that LinkedIn content personal branding really could have for them. And that's why I'm going to get back to researching about this industry and then getting ready for the call, put myself in a good mood, smile, and get things going. Let's go, bow.
Ich sag, wir sind auch, wir haben jetzt eben letztes Jahr begonnen, eben auch die Gruppe, die Holding zu positionieren, modern zu positionieren. Auch in diesem Bereich wollen wir natürlich Social Media Arbeit betreiben. Zum Beispiel, da gibt es jetzt noch gar nichts. Also wir haben jetzt nicht mal eine LinkedIn-Seite oder sowas. Wir machen jetzt gerade die Website gemeinsam mit unserer Agentur. Es geht jetzt alles los. Und da ist es sicherlich auch gescheit in dem Kontext für die einzelnen Divisionen, aber auch gesamthaft als Gruppe mit dem Input, den wir gegeben haben, da sich was zu überlegen, wie man das gut kommunizieren kann.
Unser Kernservice mit Notus ist, dass wir vor allem im B2B-Bereich, aber am Schluss ist es auch industrieagnostisch, weil unser Prozess darauf basiert, dass wir die Expertinnen interviewen und dann das Wissen einfach in gute Inhalte verpacken. Aber genau, also unser Fokus ist, dass wir wirklich mit Projektleiterinnen, also Personal Brand Managern, dann die Marken von oftmals den Gründern, CEOs und der Führungsetage zuerst aufbauen und ihnen helfen, dann die wichtigen Kanäle zu erschließen. Das ist meistens LinkedIn im ersten Schritt. Aber wir sagen auch, und das ist eine der Kernfragen, die ich auch mit euch besprechen möchte, am Schluss kommt es auch darauf an, wo die Zielgruppe Zeit verbringt. Und wenn die Zielgruppe nicht auf LinkedIn jeden Tag rumscrollt, dann braucht man auch nicht zwingend auf LinkedIn aktiv sein. Wir sehen natürlich im gleichen Fall auch, dass im Dachraum LinkedIn mit Abstand die spannendste Plattform ist, aufgrund der organischen Reichweite, die es da zu holen gibt. In der Schweiz zum Beispiel ist LinkedIn mittlerweile größer als Instagram, was die monatlichen aktiven Nutzer angeht. Und genau, das heißt, das ist unser Fokus. Wir bauen Content-Prozesse, Sales-Prozesse um Menschen herum, aber im Dienst der Marke, die sie aufbauen. Und das heißt, es geht eben nicht um Selbstbeweihräucherung, was oft ein bisschen auch die Challenge ist, weil es auch bei vielen, und das schwingt immer mit, auch statusgetrieben ist oder sein kann. Und es trotzdem schön ist, wenn viele Leute auf einmal sagen, dass man gute Arbeit leistet. Aber eben am Ende geht es darum, was ist das Ziel, welche Menschen helfen uns, dieses Ziel zu erreichen und dann über den proaktiven Reputationsaufbau eben auch digital dann Beziehungen zu knüpfen und dann diese verschiedenen Ziele zu erreichen. Also die Benefits, die ich sehe, sind Sales, Recruiting und übergreifende Reputation, dass man eben auch als Experte oder Expertin wahrgenommen wird.
Aber das war jetzt noch mein Impuls, was du gerade gesagt hast. Man merkt das wirklich in der heutigen Zeit, dass in einem bestimmten, gerade im B2B-Bereich, LinkedIn einfach die Plattform ist, über die man gerade kommuniziert. Mich würde auch noch interessieren, ob du vielleicht andere Plattformen empfehlen würdest oder ob es irgendwie so Rising Stars gibt, weil man merkt schon, LinkedIn ist halt bei vielen Bereichen auch schon teilweise überstrapaziert oder abgefrühstückt, gerade im Bereich Sales, wenn du dann zum Beispiel nervige Sales-Nachrichten bekommst, hast du auch keinen Bock dazu zu verkaufen. Also es würde uns sicherlich auch interessieren, was so die Zukunft ist und wo das auch hingeht, gerade auch mit KI oder Plattformen, was sich da tut. Genau. Das wäre jetzt noch so mein Input von meiner Seite.
Wunderbar. Ja, es ist cool, dass ihr da schon angefangen habt und auch schon die ersten positiven Signale erlebt. Du hast, glaube ich, auch vorgesagt, rein statistisch sind da wirklich Personenprofile in der Lage, 500% etwa im Schnitt mehr Reichweite zu generieren als Firmenprofile. Und da im gleichen Zuge muss man aber auch nicht ausschließen, dass man auch die Firmenprofile betreut, sondern vielmehr eine Synergie schafft zwischen beiden und dieser Image-Transfer von Person zur Firma und zurück stattfindet. Cool, ja, sehr gut. Danke noch für den Input da. Und bei dir ist jetzt auch nach Classic Vienna und ja, erholsam. Ich habe auf jeden Fall. It is 6:50 p.m. on this beautiful Thursday, and I felt amazing today. Went for a morning run with Daniel, then followed up with a gym session a couple hours later, and in between I had a very good sales call and just made a lot of progress with internal feedback. And that was, another reminder of how important physical activity really is, because yesterday I didn't feel so on point and on top of things, and that was because I kind of didn't wake up when I wanted to wake up, and then I skipped the workout, and then I just worked till late, and yeah, I just didn't feel so productive, so sharp, so on point, and it was because it didn't stick to the plan that I had set for myself, and I still got the work done, but today I just felt so much more on point. I just enjoyed the process more. But important takeaway from Alex Hormozy is the more that you can disassociate how you feel from what you do, the more powerful you become. And so even if you don't stick to the routines on a certain day, keep doing the things you need to do, but even more so, do the things that you should do from the get-go, and you don't get into that dilemma. So that was great. And then I have two takeaways, two things I want to share. The first one is around, once again, realizing that we've been doing too many things at once and just adding too much complexity to the agency operations. So right now we just hit 98K in projected monthly recurring revenue, which is great. Like we're making progress. We're on track with the revenue goals. But of course, that can change from one day to another. So we're keeping the projections humble and hope for the best, but assume the worst kind of vibe. But despite that progress, we are launching too many little things at once and trying to compromise or automate certain things that should probably rather just be deleted and put on hold for now. And that's just, I think, one piece of realization for me, to be okay with really cutting things and not trying to find some middle solution. Like one example is going from, okay, we're not going to launch an academy coaching program for the freelancers, but we already have it, so let's turn it into a digital product and launch that very soon. And so now we're having meetings around that launch and building up that funnel, all while the only things that really matter for our agency are how many sales calls are in our calendar, how happy are our customers, what's the churn rate, and how productive are we, what's the profitability, and are we blowing up the brand? That's then what goes with it. But it's really just about how many meetings booked and are clients happy and what's the churn rate. And we're doing too many things right now that don't focus on those two core pillars. So we're not making the most out of our sales process, and we can even improve certain, pieces in the delivery for our clients, but we're already thinking about certain upsells and digital products and building tech infrastructure and AI agents. But until there's an alarm bell and clients all of a sudden demand 10 new things and aren't happy and churn, then why are we trying to change already so many things before we hit those key milestones first? And so working with Alex Heeg has been very refreshing in terms of actually getting a very extreme point of view in terms of radical focus and cutting unnecessary things. But it's exactly the energy that I need and want right now. And it's confirming many of the things that I and also part of the team, like Luca and Max, have also been feeling, but perhaps somebody from the outside also needed to just put it more bluntly. And I feel very empowered to take responsibility in pushing that change now and just narrowing our focus even more so that we can continue hitting our next milestones and reach our ambitious goals. So keep that in mind. And yeah, don't get distracted by all of the shiny things and all of these gurus telling you how much revenue they're making every month. And hey, I made 300K in 30 days. And then you look at the YouTube video, and now they're selling you a course on how to hit the same numbers with your own agency. And then you wonder, so did you do 300K in MRR? Did you do 300K revenue once in your life? And now that's the monthly revenue you project for every month. What the fuck are you doing in the first place? And some are, I'm sure, also doing legit stuff. But I think we're just in a phase now where there's too much flex and too little substance, which can be discouraging or create a false sense of urgency. And so, yeah, I feel empowered in pushing the theme of focus even more and to continue doubling down on what makes us unique and doubling down on our vibe. And that brings me to another point, because today I talked to an agency friend who launched a coaching business, and he went crazy last year. He scaled to one point to making 650K in a month in revenue, going from zero to that number. And he was running ads, very controversial as well, with crazy promises. And I knew him personally, and I knew he was a good guy, but I didn't really resonate with his marketing approach. And he made a couple of mistakes in terms of using case studies that he shouldn't have used, and just overemphasizing getting sales fast and maximizing how much money he can get from those sales, which is exactly what all these gurus out there are preaching to us. Hey, just get the sale and raise your pricing, and like everything else will fall into place. And he took that too hard and fucking scaled the shit out of his offer, and it all came crashing down end of last year when there was internal turmoil, clients churned, team members were let go, they leaked numbers, they showed some of the flaws in the system. And there was then, also just some YouTube videos going back and forth. And I don't want to name any names because I like the guy, and it's not about who it is, but it's about the lesson learned. And the lesson learned that he also shared with me when we caught up today, and he was very humble and realistic about what he would have done differently and how he's going to approach things now. And the first one was relying too much on paid ads to acquire customers, because it was kind of like this push a button, put more money into ads, get more leads, close deals, which meant you need, the crazier your offer is, the higher the amount of leads you generate. But what kind of leads do you generate if you have an offer with a crazy guarantee? It's going to attract people that only going to work with you if you have a crazy guarantee. And that's maybe not the long-term partner that you're looking to work with your agency. And so in hindsight, he would have focused much more on just clean outbound and personal branding and organic content before going crazy with scaling through ads. Second thing was quality over quantity. So, at one point they fucking hired 12 sales reps in 1 month. What do you expect will happen when you have 12 dogs trying to close as many deals as possible? They're going to close as many deals as possible, and not every client will align with your values and your offer. Or they will, but it's the wrong offer. So really pushing for quantity too hard and putting out there, I'm going to scale to 200K per month, 500K per month, 1 million per month. It's always more revenue per month, but why? Like, is that really fundamentally what you should be focusing on to build a healthy business? Is it client results? Is it profitability? Maybe that makes more sense. Like, why are we all comparing ourselves to other coaches and agencies making these big numbers before fixing our own fundamentals and doing something that we truly believe in and fully stand behind? And that was, I mean, I'm rooting for the guy and I'm sure it's going to go well. But once again, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. And it's so easy to think that one method is the right method when you're experiencing it in a moment. But, you know, I talked to this guy 6 months ago and I thought that he was crushing it and I should probably go more hard on ads and create a crazy offer and be more polarizing. But that wouldn't be me. It wouldn't align with my values and my vibe. And everything that glittered wasn't just gold. And now, you know, he paid his lesson and I'm sure he's going to take that lesson home and now only get stronger from it, which is another important point for me personally and also how I'll wrap it up. Hope this is also a warning sign and a valuable lesson for you, but also empowering to really focus on your own path and on your own pace and stick to first principles in terms of get your clients, focus on delivering the best service that you can. If you can, document the journey, put some content out, build your personal brand, and just rinse and repeat, improve the systems, and don't feel rushed because some guy is telling you or some girl is telling you that they cracked the code and they're making $1 million per month. If people are scaling that fast, shit is probably breaking in the back end. And if not, then well done, guys, and hopefully we can get there one day too. That's that. I now have my final dinner with my sister. We're gonna go for a vegan Asian feast, my favorite Asian restaurant in Berlin, and I'm not even vegan. It's called Like. It's in Friedrichshain, and we should probably leave in the next 5 to 10 minutes, so we better get things going. Did you just listen? Did you hear this, all of this shit?
Yeah. Not everything that glitters is gold.
Do you have anything to add? Did it make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Here I am talking about freaking offers and scaling an agency, whereas my sister is doing social work and helping women in need physically to recover and just navigate very challenging situations, which is a whole different tangent. I'm not going to get into it now, but I just wanted to express the respect and the gratitude I have for people doing social work and helping people in need, because I feel like the bubble right now in terms of business is all about just making more money. And yeah, I'm not going to get into politics, but I appreciate people looking after people in need, and I'll leave it at that. So shout out to you, little sis. Yeah. And let's get dinner now. Back to Barcelona. 2,500 plus a couple utilities.